Jocko Goggins podcast 2025 million. Welcome, folks. I'm Jocko Goggins. And today, we're going to dissect the man, the myth, the legend, Jocko's take on whether you should even go to buds. Man, it's a good one. Shout out to Jocko, man. I really appreciate you putting this content out here. You are backing up what I've been saying for the last 10 years. But let's hear what he's got to say about some questions that were asked to him by somebody trying to support their young man, trying to make a decision on whether or not he should go to SEAL training. Oh, buddy, you're going to want to listen to all of this one.
I think the hard part about this question is whether or not you want to encourage him or discourage him from joining the Navy for an attempt at being a SEAL, because the training is really hard. And 80% of people don't make it. And 100% of the people don't think they're part of that 80%. 100% of the people think they're going to make it.
Let that sink in, folks. He drops his first gem 30 seconds into the video. 100% of the people believe they're going to make it when they sign that contract to go to SEALs. And 80% of them fall flat on their face and get carried away in a gurney. Think about that. I've been telling you for years. You've got to be prepared when you show up to the institution that is called buds if you want to have a chance. That preparation and that standard of excellence does not care who you are, what your limitations are, whether you can swim, whether you can run, how much grit you got in your background. If you don't have the preparation, folks, you're not going to make it. I encourage you to get the Navy SEAL PDF. I encourage you to get the Army Ranger PDF. But understand this. I encourage you to get in our Discord. We've got a great community. It's phenomenal. But if I tell you you're not ready to go, I can guarantee you 100% you're going to get your head cut off. Don't be that guy. Don't go to France and then end up with your head in a guillotine. It's not cool.
100% of the parents think they're going to make it. Maybe that's not true. Maybe 90% you think you're going to make it. And by the way, of the 80%, 75% of those that don't make it, of the 80%, are studs. They're varsity athletes, multiple sports. They're collegiate athletes. They're professional athletes. They're Olympic athletes. They're Ivy League educated. And countless of those type of people, which are, as you put it, like intelligent, hardworking, strong-minded, patriotic, and athletically superb, means nothing. Those guys quit by the bushel.
What you got to understand is they lack one quotient, and that's a hard, traumatic upbringing as a kid. They lack grit. They've been successful their whole lives. Ivy League, Olympics. Yes, they may have had to toil, but this institution doesn't care. It cares about how much grit you got in your backpack, how prepared you are for the program. And I'm going to tell you this. If you're really smart, it's probably the worst place you can be. I know 3 or 4 geniuses that went through SEAL training, but they are caveman geniuses. They are cavemen first with a genius brain in the background. If you're some kind of astrophysicist dude and you think you're just going to show up to buds and crush it because you're a world-class triathlon dude, it's not going to happen. Probably the biggest factor at buds is being able to turn off your brain and just do stuff repeatedly over and over and over in some of the worst conditions in the world. 37-degree water, covered in mud, sand, and grit. Running 9 miles.
There are many, many other ways not to make it.
And the injury part of it, I always go to injury.
Until you misstep a quarter inch on some spin move and you blow out your Achilles and it's a game over.
Exactly right.
There's some other things that aren't up to you, too. For instance, some people aren't comfortable in the water. Then you can work on it a lot. But if you didn't grow up that way, it can be a problem. Some people aren't very good at shooting a pistol. Some people aren't really good at shooting a rifle. Some people aren't really good at spatial awareness. Some people have a hard time with their proprioception while they're skydiving and they can't flat. The one mistake that they make is an accidental discharge on the range. You're done.
I want you guys to take a second and think about what Jocko's saying. I know I hear this a lot. You just don't have to quit. If you don't quit, you'll make it. It can't be farther from the truth, folks. I want you to listen to what the preacher is saying. Boy, he's deep, man. He's in sermon today. Stand this. Pool comp. Test. Underwater. 50% attrition. 50%. Graduate from buds. Going to SQT. Still a 15% attrition rate. Ain't nobody quitting in SQT. Maybe 1 or 2. But I'll tell you this. They're sending people home every week. I just got some guys in this last SQT class. They sent 6 dudes home at the very end because they weren't doing well.
You're done. So it's not just quitting. By the way, quitting is the vast majority. Quitting is the vast majority. But then it comes down to performance drops, which is like, oh, you failed a run, now you failed another run. Yeah, but. There's no yeah, but. You failed a run, you failed another run, you're out. There's no yeah, but. Oh, you had water in your lungs, you had a cough, you had a sore knee, you had a sprained ankle. No one cares. Combat doesn't care, and no one at Buds cares. You failed underwater knot tying. You failed some evolution in the pool.
Why is that? Jocko talks about combat. I'm just going to tell you from the regular teams. You always hear about Buds as kindergarten. Get to the SEAL teams. It's real. It's NFL. I want you to understand this. If you fail underwater knot tying in the middle of the day in a 15-foot swimming pool with your goggles on, what are you going to do at night when you can't see anything and you become entangled in a rope? Or you're in a pier and you get a bunch of fishing hooks stuck in your skin? What are you going to do? Are you going to panic? Well, I know this. If you can't pass underwater knot tying, one of the rudimentary basic skills, you're definitely not going to be able to survive underwater with fish hooks in your arm and a pier trying to plant explosives on the ship. Just not going to happen, folks.
Some evolution in the pool. The tread. You know what the tread is? You're wearing your scuba gear, and you got to tread water with your hands out of the water. Dudes fail that.
Yeah.
You're done. Bye-bye.
Folks, it's not pretty. Listen to my man Goggins preaching to you right now from the pulpit of greatness. I'm trying to get this to sink into you guys. I've been saying it for years, but Jocko is coming off just like T.D. Jakes would. He's reaching into your souls. He's pulling on your purse strings.
By the bushel, they quit. No one thinks that it's going to be them, but it is them. Him stating that he doesn't want to be an officer because he wants to be first boots on the ground, it's an understandable idea, but the chance that he would not be able to become an officer anyways. He's like not even focused on school. You know what I mean? You're not going to be a person like the kids that are getting picked up as officers, freaking not only studs, but they've been focused since they were 14 years old on getting the grades and the SAT scores and the ACT scores and the recommendations and the community service and the athletic leadership. They're getting all those things chalked off.
I'm going to disagree with Jocko on this one, folks. I'm just telling you, man. Like, I think there is such a thing as too much prepared. I think there's too much dreaming. I think if you prepare for 6 or 7 years to go to Buds, you're in the wrong boat. I'd much rather be an athlete like a wrestler, a water polo player, a surfer, and then make a concerted effort to train for 6 months and then go do it. We're not trying to make elite level athletes. I'll put the link to the video in that tells you exactly what kind of athlete we're trying to make here. But basically, we're trying to make a middle school cross-country kid and a middle school runner. We're not making an elite level athlete here. We are making elite level grit, though.
Do you think you're going to compete with a kid that's been focused on this since he was 13 years old, who has actual straight A's, that went to the Naval Academy or that went to the ROTC program at their college and got a scholarship there and are the brigade commander of their ROTC? You see what I'm saying? So I'm sure he's a great young man. He doesn't have a chance for being an officer, so that's just off the table anyways.
Okay, so what Jocko is talking about here, it's called addition by subtraction. We know what it looks like. I've been doing this for 25 years, folks. I know when you send me an email by the questions you ask whether or not you're going to be successful or not. Believe it or not, let me change that. Whether or not you have no chance. I cannot tell you if you're going to be successful. No one can tell you that because I've seen some of the best quit. Jocko is telling you, if you are not living your life a certain way, you don't have discipline, you're not doing well at school, you're not tackling the problem that is directly in front of you, there is no chance you're going to be a Navy SEAL officer. So when you call me and you say you have a 2.3 and you want to be a Navy SEAL officer and you're running a 40-minute 2-mile, 40 minutes, I know you're not going to make it. I just know it. So I try to tell you that. A lot of you guys think I'm being mean. I don't want you to end up in the 80%. Pretty simple.
I shouldn't say he's totally off the table. He would have to refocus his entire existence. I'm in college right now because I want to become an officer. That's why I'm getting straight A's. That's why I'm studying these courses. That's why I'm taking 2 languages, Farsi and Russian. The fact that he quote run for office one day, that's a weird thing to talk about right now for a 19-year-old kid. It's not a great sign, by the way. If your goal is to run for office, it's not a great sign. It means you want to build your resume, which is not a good sign. The desire to be a resume builder does not bode well for making it through SEAL training. Nor does it bode well for being the type of leader that performs well in the SEAL teams. If you're the type of person that wants to go into politics, it's not a good sign. Some of them end up in politics, I get it, but they do not go with the intent of going to politics. They kind of end up there. Like, how many pull-ups can you do? Can you do 25 to 30 dead hang pull-ups? Can you do, what's his 4-mile run time? Under 26 minutes right now? What's his 500-meter swim? Is it under 9 minutes right now? Is he comfortable in the water? Did he play water polo? Did he surf growing up? Does he have real comfort in the water?
Man, you guys think I'm crazy when I ask for the numbers. The numbers tell me a lot about your preparation. Just like this young man in college isn't doing what he's supposed to do. If you tell me you're running a 52-minute 5 mile, I know you're not even close. You're not ready. That's why I don't talk to anybody on the phone that's not running a 9 minute and swimming a 9 minute. Jocko just named the exact same numbers that I've been saying for years. Under 9 minute swim, he said a 26-minute 4 mile, which equates to a little bit faster than a 28-minute 4 mile / a 7-minute mile / a 35-minute 5 mile zone 2 run. Okay, it's all the same thing. He wants a 26-minute flat out. I want a 35-minute 5 mile zone 2 run. Hear that out. I want 20 plus pull-ups. Pull-ups aren't as important as the running and swimming, but they play a key role, your ability to carry a boat on your head and do logs. Boys, my man Jocko is dropping fire bombs on your preparation. Wait till you hear what's coming up next.
Has he had any injuries? Because he was, an athlete. Has he had a ACL injury? Has he had a shoulder injury? Those shoulder injuries and back injuries and elbow injuries and knee injuries that you show up to buds with, they're going to get tested in a way that is not, it's barely even an ethical freaking thing to have happen.
The toughest guy I know, Tom Story. Naval Academy wrestler, Pennsylvania wrestler, E3 class Naval Academy dude. Dog, gritty, tough, 190-pounder, big dude, was in my buds class. And he had showed up to SEAL training and he had a shoulder injury. And somehow I found myself right behind him on the monkey bars. He was on the monkey bars and his shoulder kept popping out. And I remember that look of dejection in his face as he looked up at the monkey bars and turned and walked over to the cadre. And that was the last time I saw Tom's Story. We're talking about one of the toughest, grittiest dudes I've ever been around. And he showed up to SEAL training with a bum shoulder and it kept popping out and there was nothing he could do. If you have an injury, just like Jocko is saying, if it isn't 100% when you get to buds, if you haven't been working on that knee that's a little loose from lacrosse for 45 minutes of band work a day, when you get to buds, all that soft sand is going to make your knee so unstable. It's going to inflame it, and it's going to turn into the size of a basketball like my man Ben. Ben had an ACL surgery 9 months before he went to buds. He was trying to tell me he would be fine. It was working great. Day 4 of training, his knee was the size of a basketball, and he got dropped. Folks, if I can't tell you but one thing, if you are not 100% ready to show up to this beast and step into the Middle Ages of just sheer barbarianism, do not go. I've stopped many of guys from not going and not shipping because they were not ready. Injuries is at the top of that list.
Because they don't care. Because combat doesn't care. Maybe this kid's 18. Was he a freshman? He could probably go to 4 years in the Army or the Marine Corps. Good baseline as an infantryman.
Oh my God, Jocko Goggins is preaching. Reverend Jocko, you are the man. Jocko just gave my 18-year-old playbook. Join the Marine Corps for 4 years, join the Army for 4 years. Either one of them is an amazing, amazing proving grounds. Listen, the chances of you graduating from SEAL training at 18 years old is 5 out of 1,000. 1,000 people go to buds roughly a year, 800 to 1,000, and only 5 high school graduates graduate a year. It's the same in the Army Ranger and Green Beret pipeline. Now, the Army Rangers take a ton of high school kids straight out on option 40 contracts, but only 1 out of 5 high school kids is still in the Ranger Regiment a year later. Look at SFAS. They have the same numbers, folks. 5 out of 2,000 people. 5. Okay? So listen, if you're coming out of high school, do exactly what Jocko just said. Join the Marine Corps for 4 years. I had 3 Marines in my class and they were absolute animals. Man, boys, don't go nowhere because Jocko is straight dropping truth bombs in this video.
So that would give you a good base too for what it takes to make it through SEAL training. The SEAL route is hard. We need to keep that in mind. And the chances that this young individual sounds like a great kid, intelligent, hardworking, like really focused, the chances are that he won't make it. We have to keep that in mind. It's a hard route, and it is something that I do not encourage people to do. Because if I say, hey, Billy, the SEAL teams is the best. You should go for it. And then they don't make it, and then they hate their lives. And I don't want to be responsible for ruining their life.
In my life, I've made three recommendations to go to SEAL training. 3. Just like Jocko is saying, I don't want that burden of someone going and getting their head cut off because I thought they had a chance. So my dude, United States Naval Academy grad, I was in the pool swimming with his buddy. He was awesome. Had a conversation with him. I asked him, hey, man, why don't you go SEALs? He said he was going in the Marine Corps. I told him, man, fuck the Marine Corps. Let's go SEALs. He went swole, ended up lateral transferring into the SEAL teams, crushed it. Is still in the community doing great work. The other individual I recommended go SEALs is the first black MARSOC commander in the history of the Marine Corps. Another kick-ass dude, 20-year war combat veteran, just a bad dude. And then the third guy I recommended going ended up not going, all right? Decided he didn't want to do it. I made 3 recommendations in my whole lifetime that you should think about being a SEAL. 3. Let that sink in, folks. I'm with Jocko on this one, man. You don't recommend no one go to SEALs because he's about to get into the peril of the choice that you make when you choose SEALs.
So I do not encourage people to do it. And as much as we believe in, like I said, the kids that don't make it through are studs. Division I athletes, name the sport. Wrestling, football, swimming, running, they all quit. Hey, they've all made it too, but they've all quit. So it means nothing. All that being said, there is a certain drive in a small percentage of young men that for no logical reason. So what I realized, there's no logical reason to try and go in the SEAL teams. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense. If you were to be put into AI, the pros and cons of the various branches of, should I go Special Forces? Should I go Ranger? Should I go Air Force CCT? Should I go Marine Raider? Put that into Chat GPT and said, oh, here's who I am. Here's what I have. What is the best route for me to take? AI would tell you any of the other branches.
I'm going to have to disagree with Goggins on this one. Here's the deal. Air Force CCT pipeline, PJ pipeline, that pipeline is 10 times worse than SEAL pipeline. It's bad. So I would put them number 1. But without question, the best opportunity and the best place to go is the United States Army. Because if you fall out of grace, you just go in the infantry. Best place by far.
Look at the percentage of people get dropped. It would look at the amount of injuries, the amount of people that get disqualified, the amount of people that don't make it, and what happens when you don't make it. Because what happens when you don't make it through SEAL training, you end up in the Navy. And the Navy is industrial jobs for the most part, which people that want to be SEALs don't want industrial jobs. They want commando jobs. They want infantryman jobs. And you don't get those in the regular Navy.
You get chip and paint. You get sonar tech. You get bosun's mate, which is chip and paint. You get a bunch of stuff that doesn't have a gun. Even the gunner's mates don't have guns. They run cannons. Now, they might get to shoot the 60 every now and then, but it ain't the same. You don't get to carry a gun if you're a damn gunner's mate. Let that sink in. Jocko Goggins is dropping knowledge. Man, Goggins, you killing it, bruh.
So it doesn't make any logical sense to go that route. But guess what? The people that do that route for no logical reason, that there's just one job that they want. There's one job that they want, and that's it. Your son might be one of those people. And here's the thing. If he is one of those people, he's going to go for it. And he needs to make that decision. And in the highly unlikely event, because you hear the 80% attrition rate, that just counts people that show up to buds. Most people don't even make it to buds.
I'm telling you right now, they got the 28-20 4-mile requirement to class up. If you're not running a 26, like Jocko's saying, you're not going to get the class up. They had 400 people in waiting just now in the class, and the cutoff was 28-20. Why? Only 5 people have graduated from buds with a run time on 4 miles of greater than 28-20 in the last 5 classes, folks. We're not playing around. Let this man preach.
So in the unlikely event that he makes it through the most arduous, selective, random, brutal, and ridiculous training pipeline, it's the best job ever. He's got to make that decision. And you can't actually help him in either way. Because if you talk him out of it, he's going to regret it and he's going to resent you. And if you talk him into it and he doesn't make it, he's going to regret it and he's going to resent you. So he's a young man and he needs to decide what he's going to do. And the best thing you can do is support his decision and wish him luck. That's my assessment here. Sounds like you raised a great kid.
Great kids do not do well in SEAL training. I love y'all. Love having great kids. I'm just telling you, it's not the place. The savagery level is way too high for great kids. I need grimy kids.
Oh, we believe in plan Bs, because we've been through life and stuff like that, which makes sense, I think.
Yeah, totally. It does make sense. And you get people that are like, don't have a backup plan. I get that mentality, but You better consider that. It's hard to convince someone, 80% of the people that don't make it, you're one of them.
Yeah.
Because why would anyone join if they didn't think they were going to make it?
Yeah,
They all
exactly.
think they're going to make it.
I'm going to disagree with you, Jocko, on this one, man. Listen, bud, here's the deal, man. You got to Cortez Kennedy this shit. You got to burn your ships at the shore, and you got to plant your flag in the ground. You can't have no backup plan. Now, going in the Army, you got a good backup plan. I'm not going to say that's a backup plan. I'm just saying that's a good place to fall. In the Navy, you can't have no backup plan, because if you think about that backup plan for 1 second, that sand, that cold, that grit is going to get under your skin, and you're going to be like, the backup plan is better than the main plan. Earn the ships at the shore, no backup plan. Hell no, Jocko, don't do it. Man, folks, this was a banger today. Jocko getting here, just getting it. Listen up, man. Get on the line. Email me, get the PDF. Make sure you go check out the other videos we have. Getting a lot of questions about cats wanting to go to SOAS. We have a whole playlist on SOAS. Listen, folks, there is no mystery about SEAL training. It's really hard. You got to have a backpack full of grit. Listen, man, if we can help you out, jump into our Discord. It's full of winners over there that have been where you're trying to go. Take advice from people that are going to the top. Hey, Goggins, man, I really appreciate what you did today, man. It was absolute fire, brother. Much love to you. Continued success. Keep killing it, Jocko.